Can you tell me your thoughts on the medical profession? This could go on for a while, I would imagine. But
well, beyond thoughts, let's look at the reality. I mean, I'm a scientist. I started out doing physical chemistry. I was going to study medicine, but there were some things I just could not take because there was such complete bullshit with it. Let me explain something very fundamental, what they might call the law of molecular substitution. It's very similar to any kind of substitution. Like take a car, for instance. You wouldn't take, say, Ford parts from a Ferrari. You know it's going to work, it's going to break down. The only thing which fit are the right parts. You take any molecule, substitute with a different one, the more change it is, the less it's going to work. The only molecules that can fit in an organic system are organic ones. The only things that fit in your body are nature identical. Anything that's therefore synthesized cannot work as well. It is scientifically impossible for synthetic to be as good for you as a natural product. That is scientifically impossible. The only reason they have to make drugs is because you cannot patent a natural substance to make money out of it.
so you're saying the whole medical profession
It's
is
about making money. It cannot possibly work. And
Ever.
No, it's flawed right from the beginning.
Yeah.
And in order to actually make more profit, they've got to make you more drug dependent, not healthier.
So this is coming back to the church. This is why the Inquisition basically burned 9 million or whatever witches, because these were people who used plants to heal people.
Yeah, they're going against the way of the church,
Uh,
against their way of doing things. So, resisting their laws, which are there to control people.
right. So now this, what's the name for it? Codex?
Codex Alimentarius.
Can you explain what that is?
Well, it originates in the Nazi movement. There used to be IG Farben, the company which made the Zyklon B gas to kill all the Jews. Their whole entire purpose was poisoning. They create this thing called Code X, obviously very much a military name, whose plan was to control the world by controlling its food.
Okay.
Now, since the war ended and these people went to prison, well, they soon came out and got jobs in medical companies and reformed again as Codex Alimentarius to continue their plan.
So as well as giving everybody all these drugs to make money out of, you say they're controlling our food. Does this kind of tie into GM foods in some
Exactly,
way?
it's behind it all.
So like,
They're the ones who make the rules as to what we can have. They're the ones who make taking things off the market that we're not allowed to have anymore.
like for instance, there's a big clampdown, like they want to stop vitamins and stuff like that.
Exactly. Not only are they taking away the supplements, but all natural foods. They're trying to get rid of all supplementation, all natural health and organic farming. That way people will be on GM foods entirely drug dependent.
So
Nobody will have any health.
yeah, people will be just basically walking zombies by this point because
They
we're not
can't live,
having...
they're going to die out. So what they're not realising is that all the GM food is deficient, it doesn't have vitamins. The oranges in the market now with no vitamin C at all. The spinach with no iron. It's like if you eat this stuff and you've got no supplements, you're deficient, you're going to die.
Yeah.
They use drugs to keep you alive, you live, you're going to be healthy.
Well, I've been living in Turkey for 3 years and there's still quite good fruit and vegetables out there. I came back here and my mum gave me a tomato and I was like, that's not food. And a banana was like
Tastes good,
plastic.
doesn't
It was really, really
Tastes
disgusting.
good, yeah.
I didn't want to eat it. I couldn't eat it.
Yeah.
It's just, but people accept it and go to
That's what they
Tesco's
used
and...
to. It's all tasteless.
And even the organic foods that are in the supermarkets, do you think they are good quality, or do you think
Well, it's organic at least. You can tell the difference.
it's a bit better?
It tastes better for things, you know it's real.
I think you mentioned to me the other day that they're actually trying to stop people growing their own food in their own garden.
Yeah.
Well, how can they do that?
They're saying it's a threat to the economy.
So you've experienced the God realm, right, and Kali and Shiva and things like that. So how can the gods help us, basically, in this conspiracy that's going on?
We'll realise they're there to work with us. They won't do anything without us doing it. They're not here to interfere with the world, but it will help us. We call upon them.
Okay.
Give us the strength to do it.
So it's a case of going back to these old gods before Akhenaten, what was it? In Egypt, and so these are like Hindu gods, or just gods all around the world, different cultures.
Like in Egypt, the Egyptian gods are very powerful. For instance, Sekhmet, her job was to kill all the evil there, wipe out once she was doing corruption.
Okay, so that's a good one to get in
She
contact.
maintains Ma'at, who's the justice in the order. And of course, she's the first one to suppress, removing all the records of her rituals,
All right.
because she's a threat to them.
So if you want to kind of take responsibility for the world, and you don't think you can do anything, you could do this ritual using Sekhmet,
Sekhmet.
and that would
Send
be
her against them.
something practical people can do.
Yeah, the more people do it, the more Sekhmet's presence is there.
So
the more it will be restored.
we're recommending people that enjoy reading about this stuff, find out about it, tell their friends, and form a group.
Yep.
And that's some positive
Work
action.
rituals together.
So there's another thing you talked about with me recently. It's called bifurcation.
Bifurcation.
Bifurcation. Now, what you're saying is, in the past, Atlantis kind of split up. There was a good evolution of Atlantis and a bad evolution.
Yeah.
And that's happening again in the Earth just now.
Yes.
Can you explain what you mean by
It's
this?
beginning to separate already. You look at how people behave, they're beginning to live in slightly separate realities.
So what do you mean by that? Some people spiritual and towards raw food.
Even the way you see the world around you. You might find you go back and talk to your family, and they have a completely different story about the past than what you have. As if you're just not living in the same world. It's always happened to a degree, but now it's separating more and more. There'll come a time when it's going to be in two different worlds. There's so many people working so hard to raise a vibration, the others working so hard to lower it. The two extremes reach a point where they cannot coexist. It's going to split.
Do you think that's tied into somehow the Christian idea of rapture? Because the people who study the Bible think rapture's coming, they're all going to be saved.
Well, they'll all be saved, only those who are actually working on that direction.
Yeah, because you believe in the Bible and God doesn't necessarily
Believing
mean...
enough, you've got to do something about it. You've got to work to create a better world.
So to be in the good side of this bifurcation that you think's coming up,
You need to be co-creating it.
so you basically need to be consciously taking your power back, creating your reality, and
deciding to create a better world and say no to all the corruption and the slavery.
does that mean stepping out of your job? Because that's a big fear thing for people,
Sometimes, if you find your job is working for something corrupt, don't do it.
Yeah. Again, it's morals then come into it. Because I was working for an oil company and I just didn't like raping the earth, basically. And that's why I had to leave.
Certainly, you've got to follow your own conscience.
And then you go through hard times, but you wouldn't go back. You know.
The thing is to go out and create new jobs instead of doing what somebody else has already done. Find ways you can use your skills to help people.
And you get more satisfaction from that and more joy. You bring more joy into their life.
You know you're doing something positive to make your living.
So positivity and changing consciousness is the way. Do you think there's there's so many people in the world who are working on this? Do you think it would be the 100th monkey syndrome, where it's like a tipping point and everybody else would come into line?
Not everybody. I said there's going to be a split.
There's definitely going to be a
Maybe
split.
lots of people wake up and go in the right world. A lot of people are so stuck believing in the illusion and believing in the corruption. That's the way they'll go.
And have you got a time period when you think this is going to happen? Do you think it's
Most would like to be about 2012. That seems to be where the calendar points to.
So basically, there's not much time.
Start with it now.
Start forming those groups and doing the
With it
rituals.
now, yes.
Okay.
No more time.
Thanks very much for your time today, Peter. I enjoyed that, and we'll talk again soon.
You're welcome.
Bye bye.